Jack Lessenberry is a Detroit native with over 40 years of journalism experience. He was awarded the Metropolitan Detroit Journalist of the Year in 2002. Jack Lessenberry has worked as a foreign correspondent and executive national editor for the Detroit News, during which time he reported for more than 40 countries. Mr. Lessenberry has also written for many national and regional publications, including Vanity Fair, Esquire, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Boston Globe. You can hear Mr. Lessenberry most mornings on Michigan radio, WUOM 91.7, giving political commentary. He has consistently spoken truth to power, pointing out the mistruths and cover-ups performed by both Republican and Democratic politicians in our state, whether it is corrupt Detroit officials who take bribes, or Lansing politicians who derail road improvement, access to voting, or fair tax policies. Jack Lessenberry clearly and consistently speaks with a fair and compassionate voice. He has talked a lot about polarization and the negative undertones in our national discourse over the past year. Recently, commenting on the treatment of Arab and Muslim Americans, he said on his show, "Growing up, we were taught that one of our nation's most shameful racist actions had been herding Japanese Americans into concentration camps during World War II. Not a one ever proved disloyal. We came to be ashamed of that. What's depressing is thanks to xenophobia, we seem determined to disgrace ourselves again." The Michigan Muslim Community Council congratulates Mr. Lessenberry on being the recipient of the MMCC 2016 Fairness in Media Award. His thought-provoking opinions on issues such as education, government, economics, infrastructure, diversity, and inclusion is truly commendable. Thank you, Jack Lessenberry.
Marhaba. Assalamu alaikum. Excuse my pronunciation. It is a very, very great honor for me to have been chosen to receive the Michigan Muslim Community Council's Fairness in Media Award. I want to thank you all, especially perhaps Dr. Muzamil Ahmed, Amina Iqbal, and Nashin Ravzi for working with me. And I want to give a shout out now to my former student and now friend, Anasi Tayan, who courageously stood up against bigotry in West Bloomfield a few months ago. Anasi and people like her are the true heroes, not me. You are, however, all heroes. You who helped create this community council 30 years ago and made it work for the good of not only the entire Muslim community, but our entire state. You've helped not only unify your community, but you're there as a shining example for non-Muslims that you are a very honorable and valuable and important part of America. This has been, as we all know, an especially nasty presidential campaign, in many ways the ugliest in modern American history. I don't want to talk about politics tonight, except to say that I find it hard to believe that there's anyone in the state who would not vote for one of the finest Americans I've ever met, for Michigan State Board of Education, a man by the name of Ishmael Ahmed. And I have to say that it's wonderful to be here in front of a group of Americans who I'm sure are not going to support any candidate who's tried to stir up hatreds and fears and tried to create false divisions in this country. We need to tear down walls, not build them. And when it comes to our future, I don't think you could find a better slogan for all of us than the one another candidate is using, better together. I think that's what the Michigan Muslim Community Council is all about. Benjamin Franklin, the most colorful of our founding fathers, was not Muslim, of course, though he expressed admiration for what he knew of Islamic intellectual achievements and Muslim culture. When the American Revolution began, he said something that I think very much applies to our situation today. We must all hang together, or we most assuredly will all be hanged separately. Muslim Americans and Jewish Americans and Christians and non-believers must all come together as Americans. You on the Community Council are doing your part to make this happen every day. The only thing I've done is to notice. So keep it up so I can keep telling people about it. And thank you again for this incredible honor tonight. Shukran. Thank you.